these days, one of the very common kind of misconceptions, maybe errors, is free. There's the free model. And it's true that the most common applications you see on smartphones are free. The most common web applications, like Facebook, are free. And in general, that assumes that you're going to make money off of, say, advertising. And in fact, that's a hard equation to close. And I give people very frank advice on this. I say, if you are expecting to live off of the revenue from advertising on your website, then you should have 1 million page views per month, 1 million page views per month minimum. Because you take click-through rates and so forth and you do arithmetic. I have a pretty popular blog site. I make $20 a month or something. You don't live off of that money because of click-throughs. You got to have a real volume. So how do you get to 1 million page views per month? It's not free. It's not going to happen with viral marketing unless you're 1 in 10 billion that happen to fall off the cliff or something. So you have to have a plan that says, okay, I'm going to spend this much to get the first 10 users, and then it's going to go to 100 users and 1,000 users. And people say, well, how many users do I need before it's credible? And that is not an easy question to answer, but in most cases, it's a lot. It's 10,000 or 1 million. You know, it's not necessarily 1 billion, which is what Facebook has, but if you look at the ones who are successful, it's a lot. And in fact, now Twitter has a plan to go public. And so everybody says, I can do Twitter. I think Twitter is something like $400 million in the hole right now. In other words, they are not making money. Somebody put $400 million into this company, and I'm not sure. I am sure that if they came forward to any angels I know, they would say, not me. I don't have $400 million to put in. So I'm not going to be helpful in that regard. But you have to look at those things. The business model of free, then there's the freemium model, which is free, but I'll upgrade you to a premium. Now I look hard at how many people are going to upgrade. It's not everyone. It's not a very high percentage. Maybe you have a very biased percentage. You say, well, I'm going to upgrade 50% of my free users to paying users. That's way high. You know, most places that do it, they have 1% or less than 10% that ever upgrade. And so you got to look at that business model. Is it a good business model? So there are many business models. Another one that's very popular these days is the SaaS, software as a service business model. That's a good business model in the sense that you get constant revenue. Every month I get so much, and we love that, as opposed to the old version of that, which was a licensing model that said I could sell for $50,000 once a year and once per lifetime or whatever. So SaaS is a good business model, but you have to, again, be realistic. How many users are you going to have paying that monthly fee the first month, second month? How fast is it going to ramp up? And so I actually look at those revenue projections, and in fact what I can tell you is that most successful companies double their revenue every year or more. So if your revenue projection is doubling every year, I'd say that's a very aggressive thing. Now I look for all the evidence that that might be possible in your case. If you say, well, I'm going to be conservative, don't ever use that word conservative to investors. They don't want you to be conservative. They want you to be aggressive, not crazy, but aggressive. And your flat curve would say, well, that could be a good family business for you, but it's not one that will have a 10x return because it doesn't ever show that kind of growth. And some people do show the, quadrupling or 100 times. That's a once in a lifetime thing. Google, say, you think you're in the next Google? I doubt it. And so that's too aggressive. So we look at whether that business model will lead to that kind of growth in customer acquisition. We look at the cost of customer acquisition. Some people say, my customer means I have to customize my product for the customer. And you say, oh, that's expensive, especially as you get 1,000 customers. it's going to cost you more to customize than he's bringing in as profit, that's not a good business model. Then some people talk about direct sales. Direct sales, another bad business model because it costs a lot of money to send out people everywhere. You need to have channels, you need to have distributors, you need to have websites, e-commerce or something. It's only for a very expensive product. If you have that cure for cancer that you're selling for $1 million, then you might have, direct sales, because everyone you sell is hopefully going to make a lot of money. So those are some of the ways I look at business models to see which ones fit or don't fit.